what are you working on right now?
Oh my goodness. I'm working on so many things. Well, first, I'm
I
teaching.
bet.
I'm getting used to online teaching. I think it's a wonder. I think it's a marvel. Um, I think it's a pain. It's everything in one. I'm enjoying but it's so much work. So I'm teaching, and
Yeah.
it's taken all my time actually. I not trying, never use that word try, just do it. I'm
Just do it. Yeah.
working on finishing some articles that I have
Okay.
been writing. Um, and I've begun tentatively uh, uh, working on a new manuscript of poetry.
A poetry. Yeah. I know you were going to read us a poem today.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna read from Black Matters, which again I just think it's a marvel how this book came about. Sometimes I think things
The
happen.
title can't be more timely.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think things happen and I have nothing to do with them. It just happened and somehow my name ended up on the page or of course that's not quite true. I'm consciously a part of this, but it's just about how they happen, how they came about. It's like I'm walking down the street and someone said, "Hey, do you want to write a book? Do you want to collaborate with me?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And that's kind of how it happened with this book with me and Wilfried Rosart. I had gone to Germany at the
Okay.
Inter-American Studies Department, which Willie is heads that department at University of Bielefeld in Germany, and Willie is an English major. He teaches North American literature. So I had gone there and I did a seminar to master's students on Black Canadian writings. And
Okay.
Willie is a literature specialist, but he's also a photographer. So he said, as I was reading my work, he could see the photographs and we should do a collaboration. So I was like, cool.
I
And
should walk down the streets more often.
yeah, I'm telling you, lots of magical things happen.
Well, with COVID, it's like, a luxury to be able to walk
Yeah, to
down the
be able
streets
to walk.
now.
Yeah, no, we're even told that we can't even walk out. Well, not in
Yeah.
Halifax. I mean, Halifax, it's a little bit lax. There are
Okay.
very few cases there, but
Mm.
still, yeah. So this one is called You Dance. And it's actually a dream poem. I had a dream in which I saw this person dancing. And when I woke up, I wrote the poem. And then Willie provided the images or the image.
Nice.
So here we go. It's called You Dance. And it's more or less written in Jamaican Creole, I think. There's some English. Well, it's a
Okay.
mixture. Lord, look the way you dance, you dance, you dance, you dance. You hold up your head and square your shoulders, all rigid like. Then you get loose and start to shake. Lord, look at the way you dance, you dance, you dance. It's like when you dance, something in you like a dam burst open and start to flow. And you dance, 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 and dance. You dance with the wind, for the wind, against the wind. Your hands held high in supplication to God you dance. Now it's like Dambala possess you. Your body start rippling like a snake, undulating like the waves, seductive as the sea, the woman of the ocean in you as you dance, dance, dance. And now your body is contorting. You bend over in a pain. Child, you must be dying, but look, you come to life again and dance and dance. Is who you? Who for child is you? Who you belong to? Who initiate you into these rites of voodoo where you learn fi dance so, fi dance so, fi dance so? Lord, look the way you dance. For me, I can only speak of my experience.
Mm.
I can't, my mind is like this where I can't just dip in and out. So for example, when I was writing my PhD dissertation, which which I defended my PhD in 2000, and it's a history dissertation. That's all I could do. I could only work and research and go to the archives and write, and maybe I could write a snippet of a poem. But I remember that what got me through that process was poetry. I had like 5 or 10 stacks of poetry books in my carrel or by my bed at night, and I would read. I would read poems, I would read novels, and that got me through because I felt it was I was on a different kind of journey. They were parallel journeys, but at some point they did intersect. It's hard to explain. At some point everything comes together, and and then there's some things that I couldn't explain through scholarship, through research. It just wasn't gonna cut it. And so, for example, when I did the book on Marie-Joseph Angélique, which again, lots of archival research, and there was something I was trying to understand, which the discipline of history or scholarship couldn't, it just wouldn't allow me to, it couldn't, because it was outside of its frame. It required intuition, it required a kind of creative imagination that you could only get from the arts. And that was when I began to write poetry about her, or and it continues. This is the only way I can engage this thing, is to go to the literature, is to go to the creative arts. The same thing when I was writing about Phyllis Wheatley, and I used Phyllis Wheatley's book in the Black autobiography course I taught at Simon Fraser. Phyllis Wheatley, of course, was a poet, but I wanted to understand her more as a child, because she was a kid when she started writing. And so I wrote a novel about her from the point of view of a child. And so I think the thing to do is to just swim in those waters, and eventually they will sort of organize themselves. But you also have to make a conscious effort to organize them. And for me, the arts was my release. Because sometimes you go to like a scholarly conference, and at the end of it, I thought that was just no. It's not like that at all. Because human beings are not like that. Human beings, we are intuitive and we have second sight. But this thing is saying that we don't. So at some point, the rain is coming down. You have to organize it, and then they come together. Also, when I was at Simon Fraser, I founded the Black Canadian Studies Association.
Yes.
And that was a way to spread the scholarship, to see what people in Canada were doing, people who work in the field of Black studies, and see if we could come together to center Black studies within the Canadian Academy. And that was a major thing that happened at Simon Fraser too. So I really thank the Ruth Wynne Woodward Chair and the university for making this happen, because out of the year, so many positive things flourished. It was a real flourishing of my creativity and of my talents and of my scholarship. But I think too, Shani, maybe this is the most important thing, is to honor those parts of you. Because when I was going through my PhD at University of Toronto, there wasn't much honoring coming from, the professors or from the department. Like, oh, you're a poet, you're not really a serious historian. How can you be a poet and a historian? So there wasn't that honoring. And sometimes I would judge myself through their eyes. It's like, well, what are you doing? Until I came to a space where I was able to accept myself and accept these gifts, and it's really about valuing yourself as a human being, because we're not one thing, we're multiple things. We're so broad-based, we're so beautiful, we're like, we can fly and we can swim and we can walk on the earth. We're sometimes the academy is saying, oh, you should just walk on the earth. Don't even imagine yourself flying. Well, I was always in that space, and I tried to cramp my own style sometimes, but it wouldn't work. Thankfully, it never worked.
Thankfully, because if you had succumbed to all those restrictions, we wouldn't have all the work that you have given us.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Afua.
You're most welcome. I did look forward to
Yeah.
this. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, and thanks to
Yeah.
Robert and to Helen and the person who is behind the scenes helping also.